Hello, everybody.
Cool.
Welcome to another episode of Troupe Talk. I'm your host, Emson, and also with my host,
Hey, I'm Chase. This is
and
a
with our
very
a very
yeah.
special guest, Skialar Mahar. Say hi, Skylar.
Hello.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay.
Um,
It's such a crazy because, guys, the way we're doing this, well, the rest of the series, we're gonna be doing it through,
the rest
video
of the
calling.
series. Don't imply that it's gonna end when you leave.
It's not. It's not.
I'm gonna keep this going for as long as possible.
We're gonna keep it running forever. Anyways, but yes,
Call it
we're
the
gonna.
season.
For the time being, we're gonna record these episodes with us talking through, video chatting and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
kind of odd. It's
Yeah, it's very
weird.
odd, but we make do what we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, to start us off, Skylar, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
That's awesome. All right, and we got a bunch of questions from our lovely audience, our troop members and other troop people out there. We have some lovely questions, and we're here to answer them. All right, Skylar, one of the first questions we have is, you were in The Little Mermaid, right? And you played Prince Eric.
Hmm.
And that was fun. How was, that was your first show? How was the audition process for your first show like?
So the audition process was a blast. I really enjoyed my monologue. It might be a little controversial to some people, but
For those who don't know, the monologue, a lot of people blame me, and now I have to take responsibility for it. It was a monologue that had a lot of swear words in it.
A lot
It
of
was
swear
really-
words and a lot of inappropriate themes.
A lot of bad themes. And
Yeah,
we
I-
auditioned for a kids show.
Yeah, and the Mad Lad, this is his first show.
Yeah.
He auditions with that monologue, and he gets a lead role. This
Isn't that something
dude.
else, guys?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I asked Emson, like, hey, can I do this monologue? Is this fine? And he's like, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
me being the great guy I am, like, yeah, sure, it's funny. Not realizing that we're auditioning for a kids show.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the monologue, I enjoyed doing the monologue, and I also enjoyed, there was the musical part of the audition where we just sang a Disney song for like a minute and a half, and that was pretty fun.
That was great.
Yeah, and then my favorite part was callbacks when they had all of us come back and do random scenes together. They actually, one of the first callback scenes I did was actually me as Eric and Colin as Grimsby, and we were doing our scene together. And I just think it's funny that was the first one I did, and that's what ended up happening. But
It's kind of like crazy how like stuff could just click like that.
Yeah, just
yeah,
because you two auditioned as those characters, and then you got those characters. It's great.
Because you sense like something magical is there, and then boom, it happened. That's great.
yeah. What was really interesting about that whole show is a lot of people were just kind of able to predict who would be what characters before we even auditioned.
I don't think I could not predict who I was gonna be. It's like, am I gonna be an ensemble member? And I get Sebastian, like, hey, that's cool.
I
Too.
literally I specifically remember seeing the board, getting really hyped about myself, but then seeing everybody else and just being like, oh my! I literally ran back into the building, looked at Emson, and I was like, dude.
And I was like, what happened? What happened? He goes, go look. I'm like, okay. And I started freaking out. I was like, ah.
It was so good. Actually, I think that might have been after. No, I think it was actually after you saw the audition sheet, because I remember specifically saying, "Dude, you're Sebastian." He's like, "I know."
Oh yeah, it was that. And I started like, I could not keep the smile off my face. And when I saw Skylar, he was Prince Eric, and that was just one thing that was super impressive for a first-year actor, guys. Not only that, a senior first-year actor being a lead role. That's almost unheard of in terms of like high school theater.
And
Well,
yet,
thank you.
this mad lad right
He
here.
did it, and his voice, guys. I don't know how you guys have seen the show, but his voice is beautiful. It was great and matched Eric perfectly well. It was an awesome time.
Thank you.
Skylar, was there any initial fears when you joined theater, like being on stage or like having to like be a little bit more vulnerable than you have been, presuming, all that stuff?
Yeah. So the fear I had was just basic fears like am I gonna be able to do this well? Stage fright, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But rehearsal has helped me kind of ease into the environment, and it wasn't that scary. I mean, I'd already been on stage before for choir concerts and
Yeah.
all that stuff, so it wasn't it wasn't super hard to adjust to. I remember opening night though. My first scene is Fathoms Below. We go on stage on the ship, and I remember I was just super shaky and like super excited, but like in a nervous way. And
Yes.
I could tell that was total like first time stage fright going on. But luckily the character's supposed to be excited and stuff anyway, so it worked. But
That's awesome. And you speak you talk about like rehearsal. Was there any like funny things that happened during rehearsal? Because I can name many. But do you remember any that happened with you or like you've seen that's like super funny?
um oh, the one I always look back on, Ellie, uh, Ellie, you know, who played Ariel, if that's for the audience.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, Ellie wasn't in place for her rehearsal time, and I was there, and I didn't have anything to do. And and it was what was the scene? It was
Beyond my wildest dreams.
yeah, Beyond My Wildest Dreams. Yes. And they wanted to do that scene, but Ellie wasn't there yet. So they were like, we need somebody to sub as Ariel right now for the rehearsal. And I was like,
That was
oh,
wow.
I walked in on this. This was
too.
great.
I
So-
came in and all you see is a
It's just-
5'6", 5'7" man in a bathrobe, jeans, and a sweater, singing about himself essentially.
Yeah, and I was singing in her key, like in her octave.
Oh yeah,
I-
he was using like falsetto the whole time. So he was just like,
Yeah.
look.
I was
It's
walking in
him.
like I was walking in. I was like, okay, another day rehearsal, cool. I look up, I see that, I'm like, what is happening?
And that ended up on like someone's Snapchat story or something.
I put it. I like if you guys haven't seen it, it's on our Instagram page. Go
Yeah.
check it out. It's ridiculously funny. I laugh
Ah.
every time. That's what I need whenever I'm like in a down mood. I'm like, let's watch Skylar be a girl.
Let's watch Skylar as a woman.
Look,
That was one of my favorite parts on rehearsal.
it's him.
Look, it's him.
It's the best.
Oh yeah, I think about myself.
That was the best. I think
Yeah.
one of the funnier things I've seen for that rehearsal was like me and Chase. Just the whole time me and Chase were learning Les Poissons, which if you guys don't know, that's a song between Chef Louis and Sebastian where Chef Louis tries to kill me. But it's just the whole rehearsal process was so weird because we're not in costume, right? So we're just running around like lunatics with utensils and running around.
Yeah, there was a specific moment of that during rehearsal where we were doing the mayhem part. Like we were rehearsing mayhem and we were taking like a solid like 5-minute break, get some water, relax. And our director and our choreographer were having a conversation, and then they turned to me and they're just like, Chase, would you be comfortable with that? And I'm like, what? And they're just like, would you be comfortable with having your pants pulled down on stage? And I'm like, okay, sounds bad out of context, but yes,
Out of context,
please.
it sounds terrible.
Sounds bad out of context, but I know what you're saying. Yes, please. So,
It was awesome. So Skylar,
Yeah.
you know the rehearsal process we started from August and then we did the show in November for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
What was like the biggest difference, or is there any difference between rehearsing and performing?
The lights certainly have an effect.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing that was especially interesting about this show was the audience kind of played a part in the way that the scenes transitioned, because a lot of the time during the show, like for example, One Step Closer, my dance scene with Ariel. We dance and then the song ends, right? And we freeze in that position as if it's like an actual movie, like an actual cartoon. We freezed in that position. And the audience and that gives the audience time to applaud. And so the audience was actually kind of like an essential part of the transition between scenes. And I always thought that was really interesting. I felt like I was an actual cartoon character
Yeah.
transitioning from one scene to the next.
Shout
Which
out
was
to
always
Ashton.
our goal too, right? We wanted to make the, I mean, because you can play the show either one of two ways: make it seem realistic or make it a cartoon. We chose the cartoon route, and I think that was
Yeah.
a great choice for at least our set of actors. It was a very fun time.
Shout out
And-
to the story that we told in the first episode about the weird silent transition between
Yeah, Kiss the Girl.
between Kiss the Girl in the next scene.
Was it?
Yeah, that was
like the second
weird.
night?
I think that was like the second
night?
night, yeah.
Yeah, we're like, oh, Kiss the Girl, yay, more applause. Nothing. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I think they thought something was supposed to happen. I don't know why, but it seems like they just thought they were waiting for more, and it's like, no, this is your time to applause. Go ahead, go.
It was great. Circling back to auditions, I was gonna ask this, but I lost my train of thought for a second there. What song did you audition with? Because I know we had like some songs we could have. What song did you audition with for Little Mermaid?
I auditioned with A Whole New World.
Ah,
From
a
Same.
nice song. I auditioned with Be Our Guest, which is a character-y
good.
song, and I got Sebastian. Isn't that something?
Hmm.
Yeah, well, I wonder what happened. And also with the cast list, Skylar, what was your initial reaction when you saw the cast list? Like, were you like, were you confused? Were you did you feel like you didn't deserve it in a way? Which I'm not saying you didn't or that you did, because you totally did deserve it. But how were you feeling at that moment when you saw the cast list?
So when I saw it, it was a very big mix of emotions. Like, there was a part of me that was like, maybe I could be Prince Eric. like before I saw the cast list, I was like, maybe. But I didn't like think, oh, definitely, because I'm a first year actor.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be very humble of me to think, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the
Yeah,
lead.
and not everybody just goes out and says like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the lead. Like, not many people think that.
Yeah,
And-
but
Nobody
but
just
when
thinks yoink.
yeah, mine.
But when I saw the cast list, I thought, well, first of all, I was excited because
Yeah.
got a lead role, and I was also kind of like flattered in a way. I was surprised that I was honored that I was considered for that role, but there was also this thought that went through my head of, oh crap, that's some pressure right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. That's
I feel like all three of us, like, well, not just us, the leads, but also the ensemble members. There's a lot of pressure to make, because this musical, that story it's so popular. So you have this pressure to give the audience what they paid $12 for, which is a good show, and also not just a good show. It's the show most of them remember growing up on.
Yeah, there wasn't as much of this pressure with Spectaculathon, but it was also still there because there was still, everybody had their own role. Like that's sort of the thing that carried over. In fact, we even enhanced between Little Mermaid and Brothers Grimm was everybody had a role, everybody had a part.
Yeah, it was great. What was the big difference for you, Skylar? Because you were in both Brothers Grimm and Little Mermaid. What was the because they're both alike in a way, but they're very, very different. What was what was it? What was the difference for you in terms of those two shows?
So Eric is a pretty serial comic character. Like, he's got his funny moments, but most of the time his aspirations are fairly serious. He's very into what he's saying. So that was a very serial comic character, and it was interesting to kind of find that balance. With Brothers Grimm, it's all just purely comedic.
Yeah.
And my characters that I got, funny enough, I got another prince, but I got a prince and a dwarf, and those were very interesting characters to play. They required a lot of especially dwarf, they required a lot of like being out there and kind of just saying what the script wanted to say with no hesitation, So
Yeah.
that was a very it was a very different vibe. You're right. It was a very different, and Brothers Grimm also required that whole like melodrama, the very out there performance, and that was the difficulty I had with the prince, was being a very like cheesy prince. I couldn't picture it at first, but then when we had that one rehearsal where we all tried to portray each other's characters,
Yeah.
that really helped me with Prince, and I was like, oh, yeah, I could do it like that, and
It's kind of
yeah,
interesting how that all can work out because, like, you never know how everything can work out unless you see the puzzle pieces all together, and then
exactly.
and it just like it just clicks at one point. You see how it all works. It's like, oh, this is awesome. This is what I need. Or like, it's not what I needed, but this I actually do it this way. This is cool. I can make it my own. It's always so
Hmm.
interesting how things can lead up to that.
Yeah.
This question comes from Mia. Shout out to Mia.
Hi, Mia.
She shout out to Mia. She asked, what inspired you to audition for The Little Mermaid, and do you plan on pursuing theater in college or after high school?
Oh, okay. So this will require a little bit of backstory for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So we're tracking all the way back to middle school here. Middle school, I did drama 7th grade and 8th grade, and I was the kid who really enjoyed it. I was really out there. I was probably one of the biggest in the class, meaning like I was going the most out there with it and most interested in it.
Okay.
And I found that really fun. And I, yeah, and it was just a lot of fun to me. And then something happened when I started high school. Something changed in me. I became, everybody has that phase where they become more self-conscious and more nervous about things in general, and that
Yeah.
kind of started with me. That kind of started with me when I started high school, and
Okay.
and I was doing registration for high school.
Yeah.
And I walked by the theater booth, and I remember this kind of vividly. Some of the kids in theater looked at me and they were like, "Hey, you want to come join theater? You want to do this with us?" And part of me really wanted to, but another part of me was like, "Nah, I can't do that." And I was just like, "No, no, thanks." And also choir was more of a priority to me at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't want to really fill up my time. I want to have time for choir and all that. So I focused on choir for a couple years, and I focused a lot on choir for a couple years, and then junior year ended, and I was like, I just realized I haven't done theater. Like, what am I doing? I haven't done theater. Why have I not gone back to do this? And something kind of, I can't even explain it. It wasn't like in my mind or in my heart or whatever, but some part of me just said, you're meant to do this now. You have to do this. So I went and auditioned for The Little Mermaid, and that's how that happened.
It also didn't
Hey.
help that you had like so many friends say, "Hey, come to the show. Hey, come to the show."
Yeah.
A lot of my friends also, they encouraged that in me, including you guys, and they encouraged that in me. And a lot of the time, I'd also see like posts on social media of, "Oh, we just did Butterfly," or "Oh, we just did Big Fish," and I would look at those and I'd be like, "Man, I wish I was a part of that,"
Yeah,
So
I get it.
yeah, there was a lot of inspiration there.
Hey, I mean the universe works in mysterious ways because like
Yeah, exactly.
you literally were just like, okay, I need to do this, and you did it. You got in there. You got the lead role. You did it well.
Yeah,
When everything
yeah, it was interesting.
goes well, I call that a solar eclipse because everything is set in one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And the solar eclipse happened
Yeah.
for you because you went to go do it and everything went out right.
yeah.
And do you plan on pursuing theater or like entertainment because I know you like to sing, stuff like that after high school?
Yeah, so I don't really have a plan as of right now, but I would certainly like to. That's like my dream job, becoming either a professional singer or actor. I'm still working on the roadblocks and how could I get there, but I would certainly love to do it.
This one is super important. Cheesy bread or garlic bread, Skylar. This is from Chet.
Man.
Cheesy bread
I-
or garlic bread?
I knew this was coming, and okay, so I grew up on my grandfather's garlic bread, and I loved it. I loved it very much, but then I discovered cheesy bread at some age, and I was like, this is really good stuff, and I love cheese. So it's really
Well, you are
ultimately.
cheesy. Am I right, guys? But
Hey, whoa.
Yeah. So yeah. It's mostly just a tie for me, but
I get it.
you know, I think for Chepe's sake, I'm gonna swing with cheesy bread.
Awesome.
How dare you?
Yeah.
All right. This question comes from Leanna. She asks, do you wish that you would join theater sooner in high school?
There are parts of me that are like, it would have been nice to be in some of those other shows, but I think it happened the way it was meant to.
Yeah.
Mm.
And your rap sheet for high school theater isn't bad. Your first show you got to
Yeah.
lead. That's not a bad rap sheet. That's great.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly impressive if you're ever gonna audition for another show. So
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank
This
you.
question, another question also comes from Chepe. This one, are you a gamer?
um, I've I the At my dad's I have a PlayStation 2. and
Classic.
yes.
and at my mom's I have an old Wii in my garage and I have a Wii U on my TV. So I've never had a ton of opportunity to be a big gamer, but like, I'd say I'm a Nintendo gamer. I'll
That's
call myself
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Nintendo is one of the best gaming companies, in my opinion.
Understandable. Yeah,
Awesome.
I don't mind me. I personally may or may not. This may not be me taking a break from A Link to the Past because I just got into it because with Nintendo Switch Online, this isn't to clarify for YouTube. Just because you have to clarify for YouTube. This isn't sponsored.
Exactly.
But with Nintendo Switch Online, you can play SNES games just for free with it. And one of those SNES games is A Link to the Past, and I'm like, I've heard this is really good. I should play it, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So this is
Awesome.
This is just me taking a break. So
Yeah.
Another question, Skylar. What has been your favorite part about joining theater this last year of high school? What has been your favorite part about it?
That's a thinker.
Uh,
I would say probably just the environment. I've always had a lot of fun in the environment, and it's
Yeah.
always just been very charming in a way, and it's just it's something that I don't really regret being a part of.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you like, especially for our troop, but like all troops in general, like it really is like a family when you join a theater department.
Yeah.
Because no one's above anybody else. We're all family. It's awesome.
We're all just vibing.
We vibing kids.
Yeah.
So Ellie asked, what about doing?
Oh, hi.
Yeah, she has a. What about doing a show surprised you? What about doing like Little Mermaid and Brothers Grimm? What about doing those two shows like surprised you?
There were a lot of new things that there were a lot of things that I just didn't really, I don't know why, but I just didn't really expect them to come out of theater. I mean, kissing on stage for one, that's a pretty big surprise. Or
That was funny in my opinion.
So many
Or,
funny moments came from that, though.
or saying the things that Dwarf One said on stage.
Yeah.
He said some pretty controversial stuff, and it was very interesting to
I was in
deliver
a
that.
frog onesie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emerson
I don't
was
want
in a frog onesie.
I don't want to go more into it because that scene is just weird. But I was in a frog onesie, and that's all people know.
He
Yeah,
was in a frog onesie.
yeah,
And,
so-
yeah.
Theater just kind of brings a lot of experiences that you can't really expect from anywhere else,
Yeah.
And that was the biggest surprise to me. It was like, wow, these are actually things that I'm doing. This is
Yeah.
funny, but it's just very fun to have that opportunity.
Also, I just want to give brag for Skylar. This guy, this is his first year, and you want to know what else? He got the lead in a musical. He went to regionals, and he got state qualifiers, guys.
He
That's-
got qualified for state, which very sadly now state is not happening, so he can't
But
perform.
still,
But he's
Skylar
still
is great,
qualified.
guys. That's awesome.
He's still qualified, and that's what counts.
I remember we were at regionals. We were just sitting in our seats, and then we hear we're seeing the duo scenes like get regional recognized, and we're like, oh, this is nice, and I can see in Skylar and Cohen's eyes, like, oh, we didn't get recognized, oh, it sucks. We hear one thing, they really mispronounced their names.
Yeah.
But like, was it Cohen's name first or your name first, Skylar?
It was probably I think he actually perfectly pronounced Cohen like Cohen Park, but he said it after Skylar, so it's like Skialar Mahar.
And when you see Cohen stand up, like
like just
Yeah, yeah. My favorite part about that moment was he took a break between saying our group name and then saying our actual name. So he wasn't finished like announcing us, but after we heard just our group name and he took the break there, we thought he was done. So Cohen and I jumped out of our seats and went, "We qualified!" And the entire auditorium of people looks at us, and it was so funny. And then he goes, "Skialar Mahar," and we're like, "Oh, he was done."
Hold on. I'm gonna see if there's any. Is there something I could do? Because all of a sudden your audio quality just dropped. It's
mine?
Oh,
there
you're
it is.
back. You're back.
Yeah,
Okay.
and for people watching this episode, guys, we know it's not the best, but we're trying here.
We're making
trying.
we're making do with what we have. So.
Yes. This another question also comes from Ellie. She asked, was there anything different than you expected? Like, in terms of theater and like doing all that stuff, was like anything different than you expected?
But I thought you already asked that question.
Did I? No,
anything different that you I think the question you already asked was anything surprising you about doing a show.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
what's the new question?
Was there anything different than you expected? Like, did you expect one thing for theater, but then it was such a different experience or different thing that happened for your expectations?
Kind of just like the way to deliver it was different than the way I expected because, it didn't really occur to me from like watching theater and stuff. It didn't really occur to me all of the little things that matter, like keeping your eyes in one place and keeping your feet forward, your body forward. Just all that little stuff didn't really occur to me, but when she said it, it made perfect sense.
Mm-hmm, I get it.
But when I came into rehearsals and Miss Stevenson was like, okay, so there's this thing in theater where we put our feet forward, and there's this thing in theater where we have our eyes on a specific target, so it looks like we're looking at one thing, all that little stuff. And I was like, oh, I didn't really expect this, but yeah.
Another thing too, like, what was competition like for you? Because I know you never, we've experienced competitions in terms of choir, but it was so different for you going there for acting and for theater. What was the competition scene like for you? Did you find that weird? Did you think, oh, this is so much fun? Or think, oh no, this is scary?
So for districts, I was a little more nervous than I was for regionals, because districts was my first time doing the competing, and it was my duo scene with Cohen that we qualified with for state. But in districts, I was a little more nervous, just kind of the idea. I don't know, for some reason I was more nervous performing a little scene in front of a room full of people than I was performing Prince Eric in front of an entire audience. It was really it was really interesting how that made me more nervous. But I think
another factor for that, Skylar, is we all I think in terms of performing your show, you are somebody else. You are not Skialar Mahar, and you're not Chase Cooper or MC Gangora. You're a character.
But when you're performing your monologue or whatever, you are yourself in a room full of people you know. That's another difference, is that when you're performing, there might be a few people there might be a family member, there might be a friend in the audience, but for the most part, these are strangers. But when you're performing for a class, you know these people, and all these people know you.
Or even for a competition too, these are they're not competitors, but these are people. These are your peers that you want to impress, or you're showing what you've done on your own time. So it's just a little bit more nerve-wracking because you're a little bit more vulnerable at that moment, at that time.
Right. Right. So it was more nerve-wracking for me. But then when I went to regionals, it felt more natural because I'd already done it before, and
Yeah.
I felt more comfortable doing it. I was also doing a solo musical performance for regionals.
What song did you
So
do?
just kind of the I oh I did It's 'Cause of You from A Dog Story.
Cool.
Uh, and it's a cute song. It's about, this guy who he got this dog so that he could win a girl over,
Mhm.
with the dog. And so
I get it.
he's singing like, "Oh, thank you, dog, for getting this girl's attention for me." And then he's like, yeah, it's a cute song. But yeah, so I did that, and I think just the idea that I had more experience under my belt made me more comfortable for
Yeah.
regionals.
That's awesome. So you mentioned that you're in choir, and not to brag, but I'm in choir. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, you're in choir. So do you feel like choir kind of prepared you for what theater could be, or like what the musical was, or like what performing on stage was?
So choir definitely prepared me
It performed you,
vocally.
yes.
Yeah, it performed me, yes. No, but it did prepare me for the whole musical aspect of theater. When I did the musical stuff, it was more natural because I'd
Yeah.
already done 3 years of that plus more. Um, so so I was very prepared in that sense. All that I really needed to figure out was the dancing and the acting, and our directors in rehearsal were very, very helpful in getting me to learn how to express myself through acting and through dancing. And
Yeah.
I think I learned a lot with that stuff. But yeah, choir had already prepared me for the more vocal aspect.
Hmm. All right. On a serious note, guys, we are recording today's podcast on Wednesday, April
8th.
April 8th. And today we recently got information from our governor, Kate Brown, that the rest of the school year has been canceled, and we are going to be doing online schooling. And
Mhm.
we all here wanted to say, me, Chase, and Skylar, and we just want to say that whatever emotion you are feeling right now,
It's valid.
it's all okay. It's valid. Doesn't matter how you're feeling. Whatever you're feeling is okay, and that's completely understandable. This is such a crazy time right now. We don't even understand what's happening. None of us has never been through what this is.
Mhm.
This is such a unique time for all of us as a whole, especially for our senior class of 2020. Me and Skylar are in that class, so we understand what you're feeling. I know it's not fun. It's not. This sucks, guys. We don't need to sugarcoat it. It sucks. This is such a weird time. We all had stuff we wanted to do. We had prom. We had state. We had final shows. We had choir concerts. We had a lot of things that we wanted to do that essentially ripped from us. But I want you guys to know that you're not alone in this feeling, and you're not alone ever. You have your troupe. You have your friends. You have family.
You have
Reach
your
out to them.
entire class, like your entire
Exactly.
school year.
Reach out to them, guys.
Mhm.
It's okay. And just want to let you guys know that we're with you. We stand with you. Me, Skylar, Chase, the whole troop 3556 Reynolds High School, we stand with you. We understand. And
True.
For you guys to know that we love every single one of you. We're all family in this. Or our Oregon Thespians, we're family. It's okay.
Yeah.
This isn't fun. This isn't a fun note to end on, but we just want to let you guys know that you're not alone and we love you, and we express our sympathy.
And make sure, because just the nature of the time, make sure you're filling your time as best you can. Like,
Exactly.
get some exercise, get outside, do your
Yes.
new homework, I guess.
Yeah.
Or not even exercise. I mean, eat some
Yeah.
food that you want to try. It's okay. Whatever you want to do, it's
I-
completely valid.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
be happy.
This is the time to focus less on doing and more on being. So just
Exactly.
love yourself, and do the things that that you as a human being deserve just as much as anybody else. You deserve to take care of yourself, eat healthy, learn some new hobbies. Just get yourself out there. This is an
Exactly.
opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, and on that note, I want to say thank you, Scott, for coming to our show. I hope you had a fun time on here.
I did.
And thank you everybody for listening. We love you. If you guys need anything, you can contact contact your friends, contact your troop directors, contact us for who knows. Which one know we love you guys, all right? And until the next episode, guys, I've been Emson,
I've been Chase.
and this
And
has
I've
been
been
Troop Talk.
Oh,
And
sorry.
Skylar. Yes, Skylar.
Skylar.
Skylar. Sorry, didn't even call him up, but this has been Troop Talk, guys, and until next time, have a good day.
Hey, this is Chase. I just thought I'd leave just a quick message here at the end of the video, just talking about a couple things. First things first, if you guys stuck around at the end of the video, you definitely heard that this particular episode was recorded a little over a month ago, which is an insane amount of time for this to get done, considering how long it actually takes to produce this. That is 100% my fault. My job between me and Emson is more so on the side of editing and uploading the episodes of Troop Talk. And so, yeah, that is 100% my fault. I put it off, like, way too long. So this is that finally releasing. And yeah, and I just want to personally apologize for that, because that is that's not good. That's no bueno. And beyond that, I just want to talk about the fact that there may or we don't know yet, but there may or may not be another episode of Troop Talk this year. It's not over. It's not over. We're definitely going to be continuing the series, or at least, at the very least, I'm definitely going to be continuing the series. But for now, as it stands, just due to convenience or just due to planning and all that, we don't know if there's going to be another episode of Troop Talk this year. This might actually be the last episode with Emson, which I think Emson's fine with. In fact, as I was talking to him, apologizing to him for not getting this done, he did say that he wanted at least one more episode of Troop Talk with him, and he deserves that. He 100% deserves that. So as far as we're aware, this is the last one that we have planned. This is the last one we have planned. We might make another one. We don't know. But be prepared in case this is the last one. And if this is the last one, I just want to say thank you all for watching these first 5 episodes, these very experimental first 5 episodes. And I hope you all are doing okay during this time of quarantine. And in the meantime, yeah, thank you for being here. And if we don't have another episode of Troop Talk this year, I hope to see you next year, because I'm definitely going to be continuing this regardless of what happens. Thank you. Bye-bye.